Well, hello guys, welcome back. I want to talk to you about interesting experience I had tonight. You know how we use music in paganism and Wicca, and you can use it to go into trance and everything else. And I had an experience with music that I haven't had since I was a little girl. And I have been listening to a lot of meditation music lately, and I don't meditate all day. I actually put it on and go about my business, but I do tend to listen to a lot of it. And I found this music that was appealing to me. It sounded like something that you'd honestly hear on a Pink Floyd album. So I thought, well, this is interesting. And I decided, well, I'm going to listen to that for a while, right? And I'm listening to this music, and the only way I can describe this event is like it opened a doorway. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's like it opened a doorway for me. And I could open this doorway and enter into this doorway. And it was a thing of being able to enter into the darkness. No, I didn't do drugs before I tried this. To be able to enter into the darkness using the music and to go into a dark place that was very wonderful and welcoming. Usually when we talk about darkness, especially in Western culture, it's very threatening, it's alien, it's other, it's terrible. Yet, as witches, we know that there's no such thing in it. There's no boogeyman hiding in the darkness waiting to get us. So I enter into this darkness, into this void, whatever word makes you happy, and I feel Loki there. And I feel him as this presence that I've felt within a lot of things. And again, I'm trying to put into words a experience that, had very little dialogue in it. But I felt him in things. I would go to the theater and I would be looking around things and I would sense he was part of the building. He was part of objects in the building. He wasn't since the building. But he was also, a god separate from, in a sense, both separate and part of, simultaneously, because he's Loki. So I always got a connection with him to music, which I know we usually don't get, and we give him a connection to light and to heat and to fire. But he also has this connection with me to darkness and to, beyond this world. And it's a comforting connection. It's not like it's anything scary has ever happened or, that he's ever frightened me. It's a very comforting connection. And it's a sense of it's where we should be with him. Not that this is what the great beyond is like, but it's a place that it's perfectly open for everyone to go. I didn't have some kind of experience that's open to me only. It's something that's open to everyone. And so I'm, doing this experience, and I did it for about an hour, and then he's like, okay, that's enough for one session, take a break. Took a break, grounded with food, did it again for a while. And I hadn't done it since I was a child, and as a child, I had no idea where I was. I just knew I went to this dark place, and it wasn't scary. Like I said, it was very warm and comforting. Like the darkness wrapped itself around you. And it had nothing to do with, being depressed or sad. It actually feels very loving. And you feel very content. And very cared for. And it's a very hard thing to put into words. Because, there's really no comparable experience in our Western language. If you start telling people that you went into the darkness and it was warm and comforting, people start to worry about you and give you extra hugs. But it was this very warm, loving, enveloping experience. Just a natural part of the gods and a natural part of the universe that we've usually shunned in our Western society because we're afraid of it. Yes, a death aspect, but very warm and very loving and very tender, very non-judgmental. And it's a place you don't have to die to access. You could just, find, some people might find art does it, some people might find music does it. But it's very blissful. And everything makes sense there. I haven't brought back any great wisdom, unfortunately, you never do. But it's very healing. And it's something you want to share. And it's, you don't have to do drugs to get there. You don't have to, sit there for hours in meditation. You just relax into the music and you go where you go. Now, since I'm interested in taking things apart, I was wondering, well, is this something to do with the music itself? Is there, with musical theory, is it because of the notes that are put together? Is it because of what it does to our little primitive little animal brains? Is there a scientific reason behind all this? But I think it's just for some of us, certain keys unlock certain doors. And it is a mystical experience, but I'm sure if somebody wanted to put a scientific reason behind it, they could. If that helps them sleep at night, more power to them. But it was really comforting because I've been working on a lot of things. And when Odin appeared, he was still kind too, but he was in his death aspect, which we almost never talk about with Odin. And Loki was in his death aspect as well, but in that very comforting masculine presence, but a very gentle masculinity, very comforting and warm and nurturing and, loving. So it was a really good and loving experience. It was very non-judgmental. It wasn't, oh, you have to have done all these things to be worthy to be in our presence. It was, you made it here, you found the door, you opened the door and walked in, you're welcome. So it was one of those definitely most magical experiences I've had, and I've noticed that usually for me, magic isn't a matter of, candles are all good. We just actually found candle money mysteriously. And incense and everything are all good. And I did burn copal for this experience, though the first time I didn't. And that's all good and that's all great. And there's nothing wrong with it. But there's also times when magic definitely works best of all when it's nothing we prepared for, because I didn't go searching for this track. I didn't expect the effect it had on me, but as soon as I started to hear the music, I knew it was that type of music that I could use to enter that kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a meditative state or a natural state. Um, I could use it to enter that state and interact with that state. And I was just really surprised when Loki and Odin showed up. I was like, what are you two doing here? And they're like, well, where do you think you could go that we won't be? And I said, oh, good point. I didn't think of it like that. I'm thinking this is a place you don't know about, and one of these days I'll get it into my mind to tell you about. And they both seemed very amused, like, oh, that's so sweet. She thought she'd gone somewhere where we don't exist. It's so cute. And it was kind of like that love that gods have for us when we think we've discovered this great new thing. And they're happy we've discovered it, but they think it's adorable because we think they don't know about it. And they're like, oh, honey, who do you think created this? So it was actually very endearing. They thought it was adorable. They're like, oh, look what she found. Who do you think unlocked the door for you? So it was really cute. It was really adorable that they were both amused, but it was very comforting. And for some reason that felt timely. So I think it's a good thing to discuss because, as a country and like as a pagan community, we're now discussing like, should they legalize certain drugs? Because we do have, tons of over-the-counter drugs that are legal. We have drugs like caffeine and that are perfectly legal, but, they're talking about legalizing certain other drugs. And that's going to become a discussion. Say they legalized everything tomorrow, that would certainly become a discussion of magical community, but sometimes we can find doors that unlock without any other assistance. I've noticed sometimes coffee can do it for me. I've noticed sometimes music does it for me. Sometimes really moving art does it for me. But usually prolonged music does it best because it just keeps the door open, where with art, I have to like say art is like that shell. I have to keep looking at that shell. But with music, I can just, close my eyes and lay back and relax for a couple hours, and that certainly gives you more explore time. So I just thought I would share that with you guys, and I think I'm the only one in this country that didn't tune into a sports thing today. I didn't even watch a kitten bowl, and I was looking forward to that, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm okay. I did watch a couple commercials, being had an assortment of commercials, and I'm like, they really dropped the ball this year. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. But that was really interesting because, especially with the Norse gods, we just have these fragments sometimes, and people will say, "Oh, you must go to this god for music, or you must go to that god for music," and you might just not have the experience of working with that god. And then what do you do? So it was just, I was really happy it worked out the way it did because it was very comforting. And I usually get Loki and Odin together in that sense, and they only can speak to me in ways I can understand. So it was like Loki was the dark half and Odin was the light half, though it could have been totally different. They could have both been darkness or both been light or some combination of the two, but they can only talk to us in ways that our human mind grasps. So I'm sure had another god had the experience, it would have got a lot more out of it. Thank you, Loki. Loki's like, look at that cloud, that one right there. See that one right there that I'm kind of trying to point at, and my stupid thing is helping me? That cloud right there, he thinks it looks like a chicken. So thank you, Loki. That was very intensely spiritual. Yeah, the spiritual master that was showing me around the darkness is completely gone. Replaced by the god that's really concerned with that cloud that looks like a chicken. Oh, Loki, what would we do without you? I don't know, but it will probably be really peaceful. But he's been a good boy, and it was a really wonderful experience, guys, and I wanted to share that with you because it's just really moving experience when you have it. I will give you a link over to the music, and I don't know if I said this recording or not, but you might find you have the same experience, and you might listen to this and go, yep, I know she does drugs, because there's nothing in this music. For each their own. So if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.